And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Tennessee House Republicans have expelled 2 of 3 Democrats who participated in anti-gun protests. Now the vote is drawing accusations of racism. Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, who are black, were both expelled. Representative Gloria Johnson, who is white, was not. All 3 protested with other supporters in the House chambers after the deadly mass shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville. Joining me now to talk about this, CEO of Regal Media, Todd Smith. What's your assessment of this situation? First of all, do you think they should have been expelled at all? What do you think legislative action would call for with the way they behaved?
I think they should have been censured. I think they should have been stripped of some of their committees if they are on committees or have any leadership positions in those committees. But I think that this was a little bit harsh, and I think it's hypocritical, especially for the Republicans, because I'll say this in full disclosure. I am a Democrat, but I'll openly vote for a Republican every now and then, so I'm not leaning just way to the left. But when Donald Trump incited a riot, a lot of people didn't vote to convict him. A lot of people said, let the people decide at the ballot box, or they're making it partisan. But when a Democrat does it, they don't go by the same rules. You know what I mean? They expel them. So I just find it hypocritical that they would do this. And definitely the issue that they're fighting for, just gun violence. People are going to get passionate when we talk about killing kids. So you have to give people enough time to express themselves, but this was definitely too far.
And do you also think this may have a role in not wanting to look at gun legislation where they would take a look at how guns are being used in the state of Tennessee?
I think they're trying to avoid the situation. I think that that's what they're trying to do. If there's a chance that we might get legislation, we'll silence this person. We don't want to open debate. We don't want to listen to the other side. And that's what's wrong with politics today. We don't want to listen to other people's perspective. We'll silence them, but that's undemocratic. Our country is a beautiful place. I mean, it's a beautiful experiment, this democracy, but we're on the brink of losing it, because when people have a problem with you, they want to kick you out of office, or if you lose an election, they want to overthrow our democracy. We're in a dangerous, dangerous place. But I don't think that they want to tackle the real issues. Like the young brother said, instead of attacking gun violence, they attack democracy, and that's a serious problem.
Now, when we say expulsion in the Tennessee legislature, what does that exactly mean? Does that mean they lose their position in the legislature, or they lose certain privileges?
I look at it as more like suspension, because when I think of expulsion, I think of that as you're being kicked out permanently. But they have an opportunity to come back into office, to run again. They might be placed back into office because, some leaders in the committee have an opportunity to place somebody in their position. So we call it expulsion, but to me it's more like a suspension or probation. So they definitely have an opportunity. But I will say this, Isaiah. Very few people knew who these brothers were, Jones, Pearson, and his sister Johnson. This has elevated them to national prominence. So a lot of Republicans probably looked at that as saying, okay, we're going to get these Democrats. We're going to punish them for speaking out and being too vocal, but you've elevated them to a higher position. These brothers might go on to bigger and better things because now we know them. Now we know their passion. Now the world knows what they stand for. They're going to get more popular. And we see a lot of Republican voters in Tennessee who have voted for Republicans their entire life. They're very upset with their party. So this might backfire on Republicans, because people know our democracy is in danger. They know when people are trying to stifle them. And the Republicans always say they're against cancel culture. But then they cancel these brothers. They're for the First Amendment. When these brothers speak out, they want to get rid of them. So there's a lot of hypocrisy in the GOP, and they need to do a lot of soul searching and need to look in the mirror.
All right. Todd Smith of Regal Media, thank you for joining us here on The Factor tonight.